Happy holidays and welcome back to Gluten-Free Runner. Today I made the best, cutest little gluten-free gingerbread men ever. They are so adorable, they're so fun, and they're gluten-free, but don't worry, if you're not gluten-free, you can make these the classic way too, with gluten flour. So, I'm so excited for today's video, so let's get started. As always, the ingredients are right here on screen, so feel free to pause here and take a screenshot. They'll also be in the description below too. So, there you go. Before we dive in, a quick warning. If your gluten-free 1-to-1 flour doesn't have xanthan gum, make sure to add it, okay? Xanthan gum is why gluten-free pastries and baked goods don't crumble into a sad little dust. Gluten is a protein that gives baked goods structure. Without it, cookies and things like that can be crumbly. That's where xanthan gum steps in. It mimics the gluten, helps trap air, and keeps your cookies soft but firm. So, we're going to add 2 3/4 cup of gluten-free 1-to-1 flour to a bowl or regular flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then a whole bunch of spices. A tablespoon of ginger, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a little pinch of salt, of course, because we're fancy like that. The salt offsets the sweetness so that it's not overly sweet. Now this cookie, it won't get too dense and chewy. It won't rise or spread a ton, which is really nice because it keeps its gingerbread man shape. What also would be really fun is making a cute little gluten-free gingerbread house with this. I should really do that sometime. That sounds so fun. Mix all your dry stuff first. The baking soda, salt, flour, xanthan gum if your gluten-free flour doesn't have it already, and spices. And then in a separate bowl, a separate bigger bowl, we're going to add 1/2 cup of softened butter, not melted. See how mine is just ever so slightly soft? That's what you want. You don't want it to be melted because that will mess up the texture. Next, we're going to add in 1/2 cup of brown sugar to make the gingerbread men brown and sweet and delicious. Cream the butter and sugar together. Creaming it traps the air, which helps the cookies rise and stay soft. Don't skip this step. Cream the butter and sugar together before you add anything else. This starts the base of your wet ingredients. Another thing that I love about this is it's so satisfying. Alright, now while we're creaming it together, I'm using my teal little handheld mixer. You can use a standing mixer, and I think you can probably do this by hand too. It just requires a little bit more elbow grease, but that's okay. While you're creaming that together, add in 1 egg and then 1/3 cup of molasses. The molasses is so satisfying. I love this part. It not only darkens the cookies, but it also makes them a little bit more chewy, and it adds a good flavor, the classic gingerbread flavor that we all know and love. And of course, a little bit of vanilla, because what would a cookie be if we didn't add vanilla, huh? We gotta add some. I don't measure it. I measure it with my soul. I just pour it until my vibes tell me to stop, you know? Cream that together as well. And during this part, just look how satisfying that is. See how it turns it all brown and that classic gingery color? It's amazing. And it smells so, so good. The gluten-free dough is going to be pretty thick, kind of like Play-Doh. That's normal. If it's a little bit too sticky, you can add a tiny bit more flour, but only like a tablespoon at a time. Because remember, you can't add more. You can't take away. You can always add more, but you can't take away. Combine your wet and dry ingredients gradually so that you don't make a mess and so that everything gets evenly combined. Don't go all at once because that will be very, very hard and it will mess up the texture and it just won't be fun for anybody. If you have to, don't be afraid to get dirty. Get in there with your hands and mix it all up. Give it a nice good mix. I love how this dough turned out. It was so soft and so fun to play with, and just look at that texture. Oh my goodness. You can't even tell this is gluten-free. Plus, the cookie dough tastes pretty good too. Now we're going to get some plastic wrap and flatten the dough into 2 discs. So just split it in half, put it on the plastic wrap, flatten it out. into 2 separate discs. That way we can chill it. We're going to chill the dough for 1 to 2 hours. Chilling it solidifies the fats from the eggs and the butter, which prevents spreading in the oven, giving them sharper edges, which we definitely want for our gingerbread men to keep the cookie cutter shapes. We don't want them spreading too much or like melting or anything like that. So this is going to give us those nice, clean, crispy edges. Go ahead and let them sit in the fridge for a few hours and then we'll be ready. Alright, it has been a few hours and now our dough has been properly chilled. So what we're going to do is take it out of the plastic wrap, put it in between 2 pieces of parchment paper. My dog is here. Sorry if you hear that in the background. We're going to put it in between 2 pieces of parchment paper and then roll it out. Here's a little tip. If your dough cracks while rolling, let it sit for around 10 minutes at room temperature because that will allow it to get a little bit softer and more pliable and easy to work with. You can put it in between parchment paper or silicone mats. That just prevents it from sticking, which is super important for a gluten-free dough. If you want to go old school, you can just coat the top of your dough and your roller in flour, gluten-free flour, of course. But I definitely prefer parchment paper because look at that. Look at that crisp, clean, no stick. Ah, perfect. Now it's the best part. Well, second best part to decorating. Time to cut our gingerbread men. I just used a classic little gingerbread cookie cutter shape, but you can go crazy with whatever shape you want. Unicorns? Sure. Cats? Why not? Gingerbread soccer players? Go for it. Have fun. This is so cute and so fun, and you know what? Creativity is always encouraged. Then you just take your little extra dough scraps, roll them back into a ball, cut them out, roll it back out, cut it out again. There you go. If edges crack, don't panic, bake it anyway. The cookies will puff slightly in the oven and the cracks should smooth out a little bit. Plus, it gives them a little character. Who really cares? It all tastes amazing. If you have extra dough, you can also always just make regular old cookies. Just roll it into little cookie dough balls, put it in the oven, and boom, you just got some gingerbread cookies. Note though, they don't flatten out as much in the oven, so if you're going to do that, make sure you start with the dough flattened. Don't roll it into a thick ball because it won't bake all the way through. The baking soda in the dough reacts with acids in the molasses to help the cookies rise a little bit and brown. That's why gingerbread has that gorgeous golden brown color. Isn't that cool? Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I believe that's 175 Celsius. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. For 8 to 10 minutes. Less time in the oven gives you softer, chewier cookies. More time in the oven makes them have crispier edges. Watch them closely because since they are a little bit more on the thin side, they can go from perfect to hard in an instant. So watch them like a hawk. They'll also finish baking slightly on the pan when you take them out of the oven, so be careful not to leave them in there for too long. My sweet spot was definitely 8 minutes, but ovens vary, so you never know. And voila, there we have the gingerbread men all ready to go into the oven. Remember, 350 Fahrenheit, 8 to 10 minutes, cookie perfection. And ta-da, here they are all out of the oven. I put them on a cooling rack almost immediately. These cookies don't fall apart very easily, but I left them on the cookie pan to finish baking, I guess, for around 2 minutes, and then transferred them to a cookie rack and or a plate because I ran out of space. That's totally okay. I let them dry for about 2 hours, I let them cool for about 2 hours, but if yours are fully cooled sooner than that, that's totally fine. Then, here's my favorite part, decorating. You can be fancy with homemade royal icing or whatever you want. You can add sprinkles, whatever you feel like. I put frosting from the store in a bag because I can't make my own homemade frosting to save my life. But it all worked and it tasted amazing. I love that each cookie has its own little personality, you know. I love decorating these. I let my siblings decorate some as well. I gave this one a little angry face. It was so cute. Go wild. Add buttons, scarves, funny faces. Gingerbread men are just little canvases. Do whatever you feel like. You can add sprinkles. You can add little candy canes or peppermints. You can add gumdrops or whatever sort of candy you feel like. It's really up to you. That's half the fun, you know what I mean? So there you have it, guys. Perfect, cute little gluten-free gingerbread cookies. They're soft, chewy, gingery with perfect edges. Just pure cookie bliss. No cracks and crumbles here. Bake these for your friends, your family, or yourself. Self-care is real. Comment below if you have any other suggestions for recipes I should make. I'm looking for new ideas, guys. So anyway, remember, like and subscribe for more gluten-free goodness, and I will see you all next time. I've got tons more recipes here on my channel, so feel free to go check those out. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy your gingerbread men, whether they're gluten-free or not. And if they are gluten-free, don't even worry, because you can't really tell at all.